The number one reason why people get their Google Ads accounts suspended for circumventing systems is because they do this. Hi, I'm Dathen Fairley, and I'm a digital marketer and Google Ads specialist. Today I'm going to go into detail about the Circumventing Systems Policy that many people are getting suspended for. The truth of the matter is the Circumventing Systems Policy is one of the worst policy violations you can do in all of Google AdWords. The reason why is it is directly in the face of what Google Ads stand for. They're a technology company. So when they think that you did circumventing systems intentionally, they have very severe punishment for it. Truth of the matter is, most of you who actually violate this policy do it accidentally. In fact, the majority of people that I work with don't even understand this policy. They're just simply opening up an account and trying to market their business and accidentally violated these policies. So today I'm going to break it all down. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. This is a very expansive policy. The reality is there are some industry specific problems that occur for circumventing systems that I can't even get into every single industry today. But what I'm going to do is cover what goes across every industry and every business model, no matter what you do. If you're an affiliate marketer, you need your own separate section for circumventing systems. You need to take what I'm going to cover in this film, learn it, and then apply some specific items that'll help keep you out of trouble. But today we're going to cover the foundational understanding you all need to know, regardless of what vertical you're in, because this applies to everyone. To understand why you're violating this policy, it's important that you understand exactly what this policy is. It may be different than how you're reading it on their website. A little bit about the history of the Circumventing Systems Policy. The name has changed through the years. It used to be called cloaking in gaming, cloaking. Now they like circumventing systems. However, how it is applied is still the same today. If you're suspended for circumventing systems, it's usually because of a specific thing you're doing with your account. Technically speaking, circumventing systems does apply to any type of hacker or someone keyword stuffing or putting things on their website in the code that really is trying to trick the Google bots with your website and do harm to users by showing users one thing, showing the Google bots another, and really causing a lot of problems. But the truth of the matter is, the most expansive reason they suspend people is because of the things you're doing when you open your account or how you're running your account. The very first thing I want you to understand is that Google puts a lot of resources into circumventing systems because up until a while ago, Google AdWords, or Google Ads as they call it now, was the number one online target for fraud. Many scammers would open up accounts using fictitious information, steal people's credit cards, and test it out on Google's system first to see if they can even use it. And then if it worked, then they would go on and do nefarious things. This was a very big problem for Google. So they really ramped up the circumventing systems enforcement. A lot of you are being swept up into it accidentally. And you may be having difficulty convincing Google that you're not a bad actor. So hopefully today we can help you understand exactly what's happening so you can make the proper changes. Let's get into it. So what does it mean to be suspended for circumventing systems policy? Here's what it means to you. Your account or behavior in that account is very similar to accounts or individuals that have been suspended for circumventing systems in the past. This is a very important definition to understand because it does not mean that you necessarily did anything wrong. What it means is that the pattern of behavior you have, or your account itself and the way you opened it, the information, anything about it, is very similar to others who they have found who have violated this policy. This is why many of you are suspended accidentally. You may not have even known that what you were doing was against policy, and not that you necessarily did something against policy, but you have behavior similar to bad actors, even though you're just doing what you're told by other digital marketers. I see this affect international marketers a lot. You of you who are here, who are outside of the United States, often run into this because you simply want to open up a U.S. account, you want to advertise in the United States, you want to take advantage of this very vast economy we have here. There's a lot of buyers and sellers in this country, And even though you're international, you really want to do commerce here in the United States. So you do what you think is right to be able to do commerce here. You open up a US account, you try to put US credit cards in, you open up a business in the United States, you try to do all the things you're told to do if you want to do commerce in the United States. However, along the way, you're not getting advice about how this looks to Google, you're just getting legal advice. And legal does not equal Google policy, because Google makes up their own rules about what they're comfortable with. They want to partner with you as an advertiser on their network. So the main thing you need to understand is, what are you doing that makes Google so uncomfortable, and then how to correct it. To do that, we're going to look into this policy first, now that you understand exactly why most of you are actually getting dinked for circumventing systems, because of the definition of why you're getting suspended. First, let's look at the policy. Now, I'm going to read it, but I'm going to draw emphasis on things that actually are important that maybe you might not think are as important. It reads as follows: engaging in practices that circumvent or interfere with Google's advertising systems and processes, or attempts to do so. I'm going to highlight attempts to do so, meaning you don't have to be successful, or if you appear to be doing so, that also counts. Very important. Here's some examples. Cloaking, showing different content to certain users, including Google, than to other users. I think this is the most common thing people think about when they think about cloaking in gaming. Bottom line is, when you create a landing page or a website or an ad, when the Google bot goes through your site, they see one thing, okay? But when a user goes to your site, then you pull different your website pulls different content from your server than what the Google bot sees when it goes to your site. And so they visually can see something different. I gotta be honest with you, even though this occurs quite a bit, it occurs less and less these days, because a lot of developers used to take shortcuts with coding, and they got lazy. Instead of like taking the time to HTML code or PHP code everything, they were like, look, we just have a website, we'll just have it, whatever people type in or whatever, we'll call the server, grab the content, pull it over, and otherwise your website would be blank until they call that over. It was very lazy coding. Nothing malicious, just lazy. And so as a result, you saw a big wave many years ago of people getting banned for cloaking in gaming, because to Google, it looks like you were up to something malicious. They went to your site because they didn't actually call your site through an ad or something. They saw one thing, but when people clicked on your ad, it called the server and they grabbed other stuff. You don't see that as much anymore, because I think developers have learned, and template websites have gotten better, so it's less of an issue now. But it still exists. There are some people, scammers particularly, that still do this stuff. They really are trying to hide stuff on purpose. Redirecting to non-compliant content. All right, let's talk about this one. So look, I get it. Some of you have had such poor luck running on Google that you turn to the dark side. And you know what I mean by the dark side. Warming up accounts, quote, 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 showing one website, months down the road, flipping the content over to another one. I feel your pain. I know it seems unfair, and so you've turned to the dark side, but don't turn to the dark side. Stay white hat with this, okay? Make sure everything's compliant. So I get why you do it. I know there's many other reasons people do the highlighted part, but not you, okay? Don't do it. Resist the urge. Resist the urge. Manipulating site content or restricting access to many landing pages. It makes it difficult for the Google bot to review your ad, site, or account. All right, I'm gonna take a moment right there to talk about this, because this is very important. The bot, do not follow, that you can put on your landing pages, do not follow, don't use that. Unless it's a restricted area, something that's actually really restricted. Members areas, things where there's sensitive information, you have to give sensitive information, credit cards, things like that. Opt-in forms, that the opt-in form is meaningful. You know, people get their name, address, you know, things that are very important and private, so that on the next page, you shouldn't be able to follow that with a Google bot. Unless you have something like that, don't put the do not follow. There actually is a policy. You can't even see it on Google's website now. It's internal. I've been doing this for a long time, so I've seen all the rules through the years. But it basically says if you choose to block Google's bot from following through your website, they choose to give you a low quality score because they can't see the content. So it actually is a self-defeating thing. Here you are blocking Google from looking at your stuff because you want it to stay private, but they're going to give you like a 1 out of 10 quality score and put an impression cap on you. So what's the sense of even being on AdWords if you can't build your business? Just don't do it. Here it is. I'm going to highlight it. Bypassing enforcement mechanisms and detections by creating variations of ad domains or content that has been disapproved for this or any Google Ads policy, or using techniques in text, images, or videos or to obfuscate explicit content. And of course, after a previous suspension decision, attempted to use Google Ad system again by creating a new account in order to re-enter the system. Now they threw it in later, but to be honest, it's really number one because most of their suspensions today happen in those last two. If you get swept up in, let's say, the first of the last two, it is a misunderstanding, which it is most of the time. I'm going to talk about what you're doing that's causing that, because you definitely look bad to Google. Remember, it's an automated system. It does humans to verify its findings, but you look bad. What's tripping you up? Here we go. Hope you got a pen and paper because I'm going to be firing them. Number one, opening accounts using some IP address that is not your own. Sorry, you look like a bad actor. You may do it to protect your stuff, but you look bad. Google's all about transparency. You need to have a transparent relationship with them. You're hiding behind IP addresses. You look like a bad actor. Number two, falsifying your business address. PO boxes, mailbox, etc., suites, quote unquote. Don't lie. You're not doing business out of a PO box. Right? That's where you receive your mail, not where you operate. Be honest where you're from. Hey, listen, I get it. You're from India or you're from some other international place. You don't want US people to know like you're from a foreign country because of the stigma. But you have to be honest with Google. I mean, if you want to open up a business that your website operates out of the United States, that's fine. You know, for customer service and everything like that, that's very common. But when you're doing commerce with Google, you gotta be honest where you're at. They need to know. You have to make background checks easy for Google. Don't make it hard, make it easy. Number three, making your domain information private. I mean, come on, dude. You're not like in the top 1,000 Alexis websites, man. Why do you need to make your domain name private? It don't make any sense. Like, dude, let Google see who you are. You have nothing to hide. If your site gets huge and you want to do some big SEO type of commitment to your site, then fine. Later, go make it private so that your competitors can't see how your domain linking and all of that stuff, so they can't come in and just copy what you're doing. But for the purposes of using Google Ads, making that private is just one more barrier to say you have something to hide. You're not organically ranked large, dude. So what else are they supposed to think? You don't want to let them see the hosting? I mean, my goodness gracious. What are they supposed to think? That are causing you a lot of problems. Not putting your business name and location on your website. Google's very serious about customer service. This one, you know, my affiliate marketers, I understand why you don't do this. And I know why for you, it doesn't make a lot of sense to have fielding customer service calls from people who are looking at your information on your website. So you want to leave that out. That's why I got to do a whole nother separate thing to go deeper for affiliate marketers. But just as a basic rule, regardless of what business you're in, what vertical, affiliate or not, or something else, do not hide your business information. Make it clear. Wear it proudly. Have it everywhere. Definitely have it in a contact us form. I mean, come on. Gotta at least do that. Next one. Why are you hiding your products? Let people know what you're selling. Don't hide the pricing. I get it. Some of you have custom pricing. That's a whole different deal. Consultants, your pricing can change. But for the bulk of you, come on, man. You know what you're charging. You know what it's going to cost everyone. It's a very specific widget or a very specific business. What's going on with that? Using U.S. registered agent as your contact in your location for your business in your billing profile. I tell all of my clients, don't ever use a registered agent business for your contacts. These people have thousands of clients. You know how many clients they have served that potentially have suspended Google Ads accounts, and you want to use them as your contact information for your business? Hey, listen, I get it, man. You're from another country. To open up a business in the United States, there are certain requirements, but you gotta understand, if you choose to use a registered agent for all that information, then you are rolling the dice. And why go through all of that trouble of doing things properly to get yourself tripped up because now you're associated with a registered agent business that have multiple suspensions associated with its clients? No need to have that mess. I know that opens up another problem, but honestly, make business connections, just do it the right way, man. Just legitimately have people as contacts there, and don't try to hide behind some registered agent business. Don't put dummy websites into your account. Put your real business in there. Don't change the content later. Come in legit, ready to go. Put everything in there. Do your best work up front before you even open the account. Honestly, the most work to not get suspended is done before you ever open a Google Ads account. A lot of you are suspended before you even start. I had a client do the craziest thing. He took his competitor's website and put it in his AdWords account because he wanted to see what quality scores they were getting. He copied their website, and he put like their landing page. He copied their ad and he put their website into his account. Just wanted to see on that keyword, what's the quality score? Can you say circumventing systems, dude? That's like textbook stuff. Don't do that garbage. The last one I want to talk about is scaling quickly. This one is a true accident, and it is a mistake. In fact, when Google does do this one, it usually comes back suspicious payment information, and then it comes over to Circumventing Systems. I don't think this one is necessarily fair, but again, it's usually a number of things that are happening that causes them to do this, but it can happen the very first time you've opened up AdWords. You just got unlucky. New people to the platform don't spend a lot of money, dude. I gotta tell you, I don't know, the average monthly spend of an AdWords user is probably around $200, maybe. So when you are scaling very quickly because you're having success or you want to build your business, it sends up a red flag. I mean, it just does. You should not scale, but I just want you to be aware that this is going to happen. They are going to check you out. This is probably the one circumventing systems violation that I have the most success getting overturned, because it is truly, you trigger risk and they're going to come take a look. You shouldn't slow down just because of this, but just know when you're scaling and you're having success and that little campaign, you're being limited by budget, and you raise it, and then the next day you raise it again, and next day it's going to cause a problem for you potentially down the road, where you may have suspicious payment type of violation that goes into circumventing systems. A lot of times you can get this overturned even without professional help, but some of you still suffer from a permanent suspension from even this mild violation. But what you need to know is that they don't take it in isolation. It's usually other things you're doing in addition to that that's making them think you're circumventing their system, such as having the same campaign structure as someone that got suspended. To sum this up though, there's one overarching theme I have all my clients do when they start working with me and they're opening an account for the first time. All my clients are typically medium or large businesses, so they're not opening their account for the first time. But I do get this question a lot, and I had a lot of this in the beginning when I started my agency as a digital marketer, and that is transparency. Google performs a ridiculous amount of background checks on every new account. I mean, insane. And not just just their own systems. They actually have partnership with third-party companies, and they are able to acquire information from other sources. So it isn't just what you do on their system, it's also the information they're buying from other people, or their agreements or cookies from other websites, and publicly available information, private information, LexisNexis, or is it Lexis? Anyway, the point is they have ways to do background checks on you that you are not aware of. And that's why it's really important that you make it easy for them to understand you are who you are, what your business is, how you operate, products are. Make it super easy for them so that the flags can easily go through and you can avoid as much of this circumventing systems policy violation that seems to attach to just about anyone and not have problems. But more importantly, the transparency is what a lot of the people who are rightfully suspended for circumventing systems, it's what they do, and you're having a pattern that is similar to theirs. So be careful what you go on the internet and get. You hear a lot of people, oh, do this, this, and this. You're gonna look like a bad actor. It's going to be a temporary solution. You're going down. Do it the right way. Hey, if this is a pure accident, make some changes here, reply, ask them to reconsider. Honestly, rarely is a permanent suspension permanent. They can change their mind whenever they want. You just have to have a good sob story and make sure you make these corrections if you've done any of these things. And I'll talk to you in the next video, especially you affiliates. We got to dig a lot deeper on this because you're an affiliate. You don't own these products. So I'll see you in the next video.